ask yourself the damn question. Is winning the only thing to you?
Sports today are not just played on the field. They're played every day, online, all over the world, by sports fans just like you.
Don't you dare breathe. That won't get you anywhere. If you don't think you're a winner, you don't belong here.
The Star Fantasy League Show puts you in control of your own team. Find out who to sit, who to start, how to play, and have your daily fantasy sports questions answered with your host, Jonathan Sprung, and co-host SFL CEO Zach Stanley and Nick Steblenko. The Star Fantasy League Show is on the air now.
Hello and welcome to the Star Fantasy League Show here on 105.5 The Team in Rochester. I am your host, Jonathan Sprung, joined, as always, by the teddy bear to himself, Nick Steblenko.
I have finally become a part of society.
Why is that?
Well, I'm in Footer's universe.
I'm
finally here.
Is this the first time you've been in Footer's universe?
No, I've been in Footer's universe before, but I just never feel really, truly connected unless the universe is around
This
me.
one might be the worst intro ever to the show.
Don't go that far.
You got the lead spot. You got the first introduction. Zach gets mad if I don't mention him first, but Zach's not here today. He's off canoodling with something. I don't really know what he's doing. No idea.
Canoodling with handfuls of pork.
I'm not going to ever talk about that again.
What?
That's weird.
No.
Canoodling? It's not Tuesday.
With handfuls of pork.
How does food manage to get into every single one of these shows?
Because we had
now?
dinosaur barbecue, and it was delicious.
Yep. Again, shout out. Ding, ding, ding. Free advertising. Free advertising. We had a catered meal from Dinosaur Barbecue.
Well, it's so
today.
simple. If you want to get some free advertising from us, just feed us.
That is true. If you're listening and you have a local business that has a catering service, if you want free advertisement on the Star Fantasy League Show, just feed us.
I know I don't eat much, but I am definitely an advocate for good food in Rochester.
Sure we had a head count of 14 for today's lunch, and I think Nick ate for 7.
No, stop it. I did not. I only had one plate, but it was delicious.
But it was
the mac and cheese is to die for.
Yeah, I agree. But we keep burying the lead. Footer's universe is here. Matthew Footer, welcome back to your universe.
I got lost in it for a little while, and I finally found my way back.
I will agree. It is a vast universe. You did get lost at sea for a while. It was
pretty easy to get lost in Footer's universe. That's for sure.
It really is.
All right, I have to mention I gave some bad advice. We gave some good advice on I think it was Tuesday's show, our first show of the week. We gave some advice to pick up Jerick McKinnon on the waiver wire because we think if he's available, great. I happen to be speaking to someone who listens to the show or is a new listener to the show, and I said, great, you picked up Jerick McKinnon, and then we had recorded the show saying that Matt Asiata was going to be getting his carries back, apparently, because Mike Zimmer has no idea what he's doing as a head coach. So.
So his whole reasoning is because he can trust Matt Asiata more?
So you
can trust him
to be subpar,
to be a plotting, no good running back, and you would rather use that than somebody who can absolutely blow up.
Yeah. So your back of the future when you get rid of Adrian Peterson shouldn't play. Just we're good.
No. Just sit on the bench, watch, make sure you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, and maybe someday you'll play for a good team like Adrian Peterson will next year.
Oh yeah, Adrian Peterson's going to be going to a team that is pretty good next year,
and he's going to get paid.
Yes,
big time.
Correct.
Yeah, I can't understand this move whatsoever. I mean, they got a tough matchup this week against Buffalo, who's pretty much shut down the run all week.
All right, Buffalo fan, calm down.
I'm just saying, defenses look pretty good, but
what happened last week then?
They weren't gashed by the run.
They were
gashed by the pass. I'll admit that. But,
gashed indeed.
Well, yeah, because they injured the Patriots' only real between the tackle runner.
If you remember when I was on last week, I did say New England was going to win that game.
Yeah, yes, you did. What a surprise!
Yeah,
you
really.
New England to beat the crap out of your
going
team.
out on a limb there.
You gave me props.
23-2 against the Bills. Tom Brady's record, and you went out on a limb and picked the Patriots.
Remember when I said Tom Brady destroys the Bills, and you're like, no, yeah, sort of. Like, no, he destroys.
No, he does.
The
He
Bills.
crushes them. I don't understand it.
The word is crush. All right, somehow we ended up getting a correct segue for once. We are talking about Patriots-Jets tonight on Thursday Night Football. It's funny, we always manage to get these close, these divisional matchups on Thursday night. Thank you, Zach, for mentioning. He mentions it every week, how it's important divisional. Yeah, they did that on purpose.
Yep.
Every week.
Yeah, this is another team that Tom Brady has just dominated. He's 18-6 in his career against the Jets, and this is definitely not the year that the Jets look good on paper. 1-5. I wasn't expecting 1-5, especially with the way their run defense came out. Really surprised about that drop off. And the fact that Eric Decker's just been in and out of the lineup is just horrendous.
They started off really good against the run, and then they played two teams that have pretty good offenses, so you can't really expect them. Like, Denver, their run game is just okay. But when you get up and you're pass, you're a little bit more vulnerable to the run when you're trying to stop Peyton Manning. And then you have Detroit, who has one of the best run games. I think they're actually, aren't they tops in rush offense overall right now?
Oh, we'll check that.
I believe they are as a team. They are one of the top rushing offenses. So I'm not really looking at that as a huge drop-off. I'm looking at it as, okay, this was the tough rushing part of their schedule. I think they're going to even out over the year and probably still be a top 10 to 12 rushing defense.
Yeah, when they were playing Denver, Manning even came out and said that they were, dropping 8 back and essentially saying, okay.
And still not being able to stop Peyton Manning.
Yeah, and that's pretty bad. They were planning to not stop the run in that game, only rushing 3, and that's why, they were able to have those yards accumulated against them. I don't see how there's any shot that Rex Ryan ends up keeping his job after this week. So,
well, and you know what? I'm glad you said that because I think we're going to see that he is going to try to do everything he can to salvage his job, including eventually switching to Michael Vick.
Yep, this is the week.
I know. You know my stance on that. I don't agree with it whatsoever. I don't understand why you would do that unless, of course, you're trying to save your job and trying to prove that you can win with another quarterback under center.
Hold on. Why would you get rid of a guy who has a 69.7% completion percentage? Oh, wait, no, that's his passer rating. Oh, I'm sorry. That number should not be that number.
So Geno Smith has been throwing to who exactly?
That guy they drafted, Jay Samaro, he's a guy.
Yeah, so Jay Samaro finally shows up last week in a game where they probably didn't have a shot to begin with. I don't know. He doesn't have anybody to throw to. Eric Decker's been in and out of the lineup. When Eric Decker was in the lineup, Geno Smith was good. And even regardless of that fact, last week Geno Smith didn't look as bad as the numbers say that he did. A lot of that, if you watch the game, bad drops. That interception came later in the game when he was deep in his own end zone. I think people look at numbers on paper and they say, oh, well, he should be out. Yeah. If you watch the games, I'm sorry, I just don't agree. I think the kid has plenty of room to grow, but I'm not an owner of an NFL franchise. So
understandable. I have some questions, not if the Pats win, but when the Pats win. Where the heck do the Jets go from here? I mean, we assume Rex Ryan is probably going to lose his job.
Well, they
not this week, but maybe next week, maybe
they probably switch to Michael Vick. That's the first thing. They're already facing Chris Johnson straight out of the offense, which that I'm not going to argue.
Yeah,
with
that makes sense
though.
To me. Go the younger legs.
And they're in contention for the number 1 pick. That's as simple as it gets. I know there are 2 teams that still don't have a win, but they're at least in contention for the top picks. So now they're looking at, hey, maybe we could actually get in the Jameis Winston hunt.
Do you really want to be in the Jameis Winston hunt based on what he's doing right now?
Do you think it matters to an NFL franchise?
I mean, we talked about the yesterday with Gurley. Probably not.
No, it doesn't.
Probably not. They have Michael Vick already. Just have another criminal.
I think they could. I'm going to forget his name, but that kid out of Alabama, the wide receiver. They have a lot of options if they get in that top 5. So that's probably where you're looking forward to.
Yeah, I mean, they got a tough schedule coming up. They play Buffalo next week.
God, here he goes again.
Stop talking Buffalo.
Then they go on the road against Kansas City, and then they finish up against Pittsburgh before their bye week. So
that's a tough game. That's great.
No, I honestly, I expect them to lose all those games as well.
I do too.
After the way that they've started this schedule. I mean, I know they're playing pretty good teams in the NFC North. I know they played San Diego and Denver, but Buffalo should be able to win that game. Pittsburgh should be able to win. They should probably be looking at a pretty rough schedule.
Depressing time to be a New York Jets fan.
Yep.
When is it not?
That might be true.
Yeah, when Joe Namath was there.
Spoken like a true Bills fan. I keep saying this over and over. If you want to sweat, go ahead and stack the game tonight. But if you want to actually win anything, don't stack the game tonight. Stop doing that.
I think you could definitely put Tom Brady in there. I mean, this secondary is so banged up. They're on life support.
Yeah, D. Milner's gone for the season. He's out.
That secondary's on life support, and every quarterback has been able to tear them apart. And Brady has finally clicked with his offense. Could be a great.
Brandon LaFell's come out of nowhere to be one of his top receivers.
Gronkowski's playing 80% of snaps now. Yep. Julian Edelman is still having a great season. I think this could be a great time to put in Tom Brady.
Yep. We got to move on, though. It's the first third. We are breaking down the first technical third of the season. It's a weird 17 weeks. You can't actually break that into thirds. After 6 complete weeks, we're doing the first third awards today on the show. We're actually basing this right now off of DFS trends, which means we're going to starfantasyleagues.com, seeing who's actually fluctuated the most over the season, who's gained the most in salary, lost the most, things like that. I'm going to pose the question to you. You guys are actually going to tell me who you think. And then I'm going to tell you if you're right or not, because you're probably not right.
All right.
All right, who do you guys think is the biggest salary jump of the season? This is the guy that started probably low and has the biggest increase in his salary so far this season.
Well, John, you and I kind of talked about it before, and he's been the MVP of the season so far. Andrew Luck, he's at the maximum right now, so that would be my guess. I would throw him out there.
Wrong.
I'm going to go with DeMarco Murray, actually, just because for $22,000, basically for a running back, he wasn't even the top guy. He wasn't really even talked about the top 5 coming into the season. So,
all right, Andrew Luck is. It looks like he's number 8 on our list.
Wow.
He started the season at 17,500 and is all the way to the maximum. If we did not have a cap on StarFantasyLeagues.com, he would probably be the top guy. He's even in standard scoring, he's like 20 fantasy points above everybody else.
He's really killing it.
DeMarco Murray is currently 4th right now. He started out at 13,000 all the way up to 21. But you're not going to believe this. The biggest winner and number 8 in standard leagues right now, Justin Forsett.
Wow.
Started the season as the minimum, as he should, because he was like the 4th running back. He's all the way up to 12,600. Right behind him is Mohamed Sanu at number 2, Ahmad Bradshaw. These are guys that they started out pretty low to start the season, but they are absolutely killing it in fantasy this year.
Yeah, I mean, look at Forsett. Ever since he started, he has double-digit fantasy points in every single game. So, yeah, that is a bit surprising, but the the Ravens have stuck with him, and he's the number 1 guy there.
I mean, these are all guys we're going to talk about later. And at the end of the show, we're going to talk about all the actual awards for the first third. We're going to give out all the awards for fantasy. But these are names we're talking about. Steve Smith Sr., Brian Quick, Jeremy Maclin, Larry Donnell. These are guys who came out of nowhere from where we thought they'd be at the beginning of the season.
Really? Maclin had a big jump?
Maclin, he started out as a normal guy, basically. He started out almost around 10,000. He's all the way up to 16,000 because he's crushing right now.
Yeah.
All right, we got to talk really quickly about the biggest salary drops this season.
Oh, boy.
I know, right? There's a lot. Don't look, cheat.
I'm not cheating. I'm not looking.
Cheating.
I'm not even wearing my glasses. I can't even see that far.
Liar.
Cordarrelle Patterson. I'm going to throw his name out a bunch of times for horrible categories.
Okay, that's because you hate him.
He stinks. He stinks.
Wow. All right, what do you think,
What do you got, Footer?
Come on.
This one's tough, man. I'm trying to run through the guys as
You got like 2 seconds. Pull a name out of the air. Jeez.
Calvin Johnson.
That's a horrible guess. Calvin Johnson's the man. What's wrong with you?
I don't know.
No, neither of those guys is actually on the list of the top 6 drops this season.
Torrey Smith?
No. Try again.
Dwayne Bowe?
Keenan Allen is number 1
Allen.
right now.
Oh, man, we called that
I was
one.
going to say, has Keenan Allen ruined your fantasy league yet?
No?
Not mine.
All right, we're going to be talking about him later in the show when we give out the Fantasy LVP Awards, I am sure. Coming after the break, it is time for John Holt's Mailbag. And you're listening to the Star Fantasy League show on 105.5 The Team.
The Star Fantasy League Show. Information is key to being a successful fantasy team owner, and the guys have all the updated info you need right now. Okay, fantasy sports fans.
There's a letter in your mailbox.
Time to dig into Donald's mailbag for your questions and comments.
Read the mail, read the mail, read the mail.
Jump in the game. Send your questions and comments to the Star Fantasy League's team by tweeting at SFL Show.
All right, guys. I had a lot of fun doing the first third DFS trends where we went over the salary. So I'm going to bring up 2 more for you before we get into John L's mailbag today, just because you enjoy guessing
That was
things,
fun.
right?
Yeah, that was fun.
That was fairly fun.
It was fun reliving guys that I drafted that I don't want anymore.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
And also, later in the show, I'm sure we'll visit guys that are doing really well that you forgot to draft or missed out on by like 2 spots.
Absolutely. We will definitely do that.
This is basically the breakdown of Nick's psyche during the show. Like, you're just going to get angrier and angrier, and then eventually you're going to punch the computer screen.
No, I'm just going to jump through a wall.
Well, so far
Say,
he's
oh, no!
Well, our door's already half broken off, so you can just jump through
my
that.
bad. What can I say?
Thanks, Rory.
These
buddy.
things happen.
We've already had a Geno Smith argument, and we've already had Cordarrelle Patterson talked about. So who else do we?
Oh, Nick is like,
Oh,
see him. He's getting-
we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll
we
definitely
will
get there. All right, we're talking about the highest salary change over the entire season. This is complete fluctuation, not just from point A to point B. We're talking the biggest change overall in the entire season, widest range of salaries.
You're confusing me.
Going in an upward trend where they've moved, basically, the most movement.
Okay.
Highest gain, basically, over a whole season, not just A to B.
Justin Forsett? I don't know. I don't understand. I don't get it.
The earlier one we did was start of season salary to now, what's the biggest jump? This is at any point in the season, who was the lowest and the highest, and what's the biggest
I'm going to
range?
go with Jamal Charles, maybe?
No, positive, not negative.
Oh, positive.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're going to get to negative. Nick's
Okay,
going to have fun with that, I'm sure.
Arian Foster.
Alan Hearns?
No, Alan Hearns went back to sucking again.
Matt Ryan.
What? Are you just yelling names right now?
Marshawn Lynch.
I think I still don't understand this question. I don't think.
All right, read it off, and I'll get
All right,
it.
no, he's right. Justin Forsett.
Basically, guys that you could pick up during the middle of the year in a season-long league, or like guys. Okay,
No,
whatever.
we're talking about daily on StarFantasyLeague.com. How do you not get this?
Donuts.
Oh my God, we do have donuts.
Types
in
of
the office.
donuts.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Justin
I like
Forsett's
pumpkin.
number one. The highest point he's been this season is 13,000. He was obviously the lowest at his minimum, 3,000.
Okay, all right.
Number two is DeMarco Murray. He was at 13,000 to start, 23,000 at his peak.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
See, peak, biggest peak. Other guys on this list again: Ahmad Bradshaw,
I don't
Matt
think
Asiata's apparently on here, Antonio Brown.
I don't
guys
think
like
they
that.
make peak donuts.
No,
No, I don't know what those are.
no.
Okay.
Great.
I would buy one if they did.
All right, and the last thing before we move on to the mailbag is the biggest negative change over the season. This is your highest point to your lowest point, the biggest downward trajectory.
Cordarrelle Patterson.
I'm not going to lie. He's on this list, but he's not number one.
Okay, all right. Because he did have a really big week one.
Should I just go with the guy who I said last segment?
Yeah.
Like since you went with him,
Yeah.
Calvin Johnson.
You are actually correct. It is Calvin Johnson. His highest salary, I think he started the season around like probably 15, 16. His highest point's been 18,300. His lowest point has been 10,800. He is
Wow.
the biggest
Wow.
dropper so far this season. That has more to do with injury. If you factor in one game, even playing a little bit and doing nothing, that kind of ruins him.
So where does Ray Rice factor in?
Ray Rice, for obvious reasons, not included on this list.
All right.
Also, Adrian Peterson, obvious
Yeah,
reasons.
that's right. You
Not
don't
on this
get
list.
On the list.
No. But other guys like Matt Stafford's on here. He's dropped quite a bit. Cordarrelle Patterson's number 4. LaShawn McCoy.
Is AJ Green on there?
AJ Green. No, there's another guy with some initials. CJ Spiller.
You know, the funny thing is, you probably could have just named that category Nick's fantasy team.
I was going to say, Nick's picks. Right? Nick's picks.
No, I
biggest
haven't been
dropper?
all bad, but before the season, I said Cordarrelle Patterson was going to stink, and he did, and then I decided to keep him on a keeper team.
You know what's really
Don't
funny?
understand why I did that.
I'm going to jokingly make my team right now. Calvin Johnson, Brandon Marshall, Matthew Stafford, Cordarrelle Patterson, LaShawn McCoy, CJ Spiller, and Keenan Allen. That's a legitimate team,
It
right?
is a
of
legitimate
all
team.
crappy, underperforming jerks.
Totally.
All right, we got to move on to John's mailbag because it is time for my mailbag. Footers Universe, as always, tweet us at SFL Show if you have crappy questions. Footers Universe is returned today at midnight. It's not a real segment.
Sunday at midnight.
Oh, yeah, sorry, Sunday at midnight. Is that actually
So
Monday
wouldn't that be
morning?
Monday?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Monday morning.
Didn't you miss my show this week? Apparently, then
I
had
was
a show?
listening.
I missed it as well. So
Yeah, there was dead air. I heard dead air at midnight. What the hell?
DJ Dead Air.
All right, Carson N writes. Yeah, Carson N. That doesn't sound right. The 2014-15 NBA MVP betting odds have Kobe Bryant at 30-1. Do you think this is the exact type of motivation Kobe needs to have a monster season?
Well, he can be as motivated as he wants, but he's been playing in the NBA since he was 18, and the fact is he is not as spry as he once was.
So you're saying he spent half of his life in the NBA. He's 36 years old now.
Plus, he doesn't really have anybody on his team whatsoever. Well, maybe that works in his favor, actually. That could work.
That
in
is
his
actually
favor.
what I want to discuss because I think there are a couple guys in here because, okay, Kevin Durant is now gone. He's probably going to play himself out of the MVP discussion just because he's not going to play the first 2 months.
Well, what if he comes back and he just absolutely slays it?
Okay,
And
but
then everybody's like, well, you see what happened without Kevin Durant.
But-
he'll win
But
comeback
that's just
player
not
of the
gonna
year
happen.
probably.
I don't think that's how comeback player of the year works. You can't come back in the middle of the season and win.
Well, I don't know.
No, because comeback player of the year is you had a bad season last year. You came
So Kobe
back.
could win that then.
That is actually true. Kobe could win comeback
Okay,
player of the year,
all right.
which would be unfortunate because
Derrick Rose is going to win. We all know that. So
Okay, well, aside from that ridiculous statement, do you really think Kobe Bryant has a shot?
no.
I think 30-1 is generous.
It's
I
laughable,
think
yeah.
50-1 is a little bit better. I'm sorry, it's just there's too many guys at the top. Way too many guys at the top. And I would even throw Russell Westbrook way ahead of Kobe Bryant.
Yeah,
He's going to have an opportunity to show I can be the man in OKC, and then OKC's still not going to trade him because they should.
Yeah, Russell Westbrook's currently at 15-1. The guys at the top, LeBron James went all the way up to 5-6 odds, so he's under even money, which makes sense.
Yep.
Blake Griffin's at 12-1. I think he finished third in MVP last year. I believe he finished
Okay.
third. Durant is still 4-1. I don't understand that.
I think Blake Griffin has generous odds too. I mean, you're looking at a guy who has Chris Paul on his team.
I'll say he's not even the best player on his team.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think he ever will actually be the MVP of his team.
No, and that's okay because that team has a really good makeup. They have a true point guard in Chris Paul that can not only shoot, but he can distribute the ball. They have him as a power forward. They have DeAndre Jordan as a true center.
They have a shooter, one of the best shooters in the league, J.J. Redick.
Yeah. I think that's fine. He shouldn't be the MVP.
If we're betting stupid things, I'm going to give you my dark horse picks for MVP this season. I think Steph Curry at 28-1 is really interesting if that team makes a little bit of a leap up to like the number 2 to 3 seed.
Well, remember, they hired a new head coach to take them from the middle to the top, so
That's
we'll
what
see
I'm
how that
saying.
all
If
works
Steph
out.
Curry can put it all together, I think he can be the MVP this year. I also think this is the absolute dark horse, also at 28-1, Anthony Davis. That team made one of the biggest deals of the offseason, getting Omer Asik. The problem with Anthony Davis last year is they played him at center a little bit too much. Mm-hmm. He's a natural power forward. Yep. When he helps off on defense, when everybody else is getting blown by, it's screwing him up on defense. I think he could be the best player in the NBA this season.
He could score away from the basket. That's his biggest asset. He's a big, tall guy, very strong. He can score away from the basket. You don't want to have him inside all the time. You want to have him be able to draw a defender out and beat him to the rim.
Yeah, I think he's a better LaMarcus Aldridge. LaMarcus Aldridge can shoot from the perimeter.
Wow.
Anthony Davis can do everything.
That's a statement. All right, we got to watch that for this season.
Anthony Davis basically already passed him last year.
Listen, I don't think that. I'm not saying that that's not a possibility. I love LaMarcus Aldridge, though. I think he's a great power forward.
They're both top 12 NBA players.
And I think really good. And I think for their position, they're in the top 5.
Yeah.
So I think it's worth monitoring.
I don't think I've ever seen you talk this positive about basketball before.
Yeah, well, there are certain players in the NBA that I can talk positively
Hold
about.
on, I have an argument. Ready? Moving on. Grant H. writes, the NBA experimented with shortening NBA games to 44 minutes in one game this week.
Dumb.
Is this the worst idea any league has ever had?
Dumb. What are you trying to achieve exactly? What is the reasoning behind that stupidity?
I didn't even look up the story enough in detail to figure out why. Who cares? This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
Okay, so what would the format be? They shave off a minute from each?
11 minute. That's what they played, 11-minute quarters.
And they took out one mandatory timeout, is what they said, TV timeout.
What the hell?
I read into it. They said the flow of the game was getting too stagnant, I think is what they said.
Yeah, because those idiots...
That's because it's NBA basketball.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, NFL football has the weirdest TV timeouts where things are going. No, we have to take a TV timeout. See you later, guys.
Well, that's how you make money in the sport.
So you make money in any sport.
And the NBA, basketball in general is redundant, so I'm not really sure how any of that makes sense.
Wow, apparently we got really negative. We went from positive to negative.
Well, it's really redundant. All you do is you shoot it into a hoop.
I think
that's all you do. There's no checking. There's no skating. There's no nothing. Back in the
70s and 80s, there was plenty of checking.
Yeah, well, that would be more exciting than the crap we have to watch today.
Just watch
instead. You know what we get? We get LeBron James getting low in the post against a guy half his size, and they call that physical play. Nice job, bro. You can roll over somebody half your size. Way to go. Redundant.
Wow.
I just think the NBA is trying to be progressive and keep up with the other sports. Hockey did this recently, trying to shorten the games, faster whistles. Baseball currently is doing something in their winter leagues where they're putting basically a pitch clock.
Yeah. They should put a pitch clock. Pitchers taking Clay Buchholz is the biggest jerk in the world.
You get a certain
He takes 7 minutes between pitches.
Yeah.
This goes back to our whole argument that if you don't watch the sport, you shouldn't have a say in it. I just don't get that. I'm sorry. Baseball is the way it is for a reason.
But have you watched?
I like it that way.
Hold on.
I love it the way it is.
Have you watched Clay Buchholz? People have.
Yeah.
You know how many people got alcohol poisoning during Clay Buchholz games because they were able to buy 17 beers?
So what happens if they don't get the pitch off in time?
Automatic ball.
It's
okay.
Cool. Huge penalty.
And it's not to actually give them the penalty. It's the fact that because it's in place like that, it's going to force them to speed up their.
Okay,
their
all right.
process.
So let's say we're getting into the World Series here. Let's say we're in Game 7 of the World Series and there's a pitch clock. All of a sudden you're in the bottom of the ninth and it's a tie game and the bases are loaded.
Irrelevant.
And they walk them in.
Irrelevant.
That is the most ridiculous thing I would ever
irrelevant.
see.
It would never happen.
Call a timeout. Yes, there it is.
Which they're instituting.
Baseball is a great game the way it is. It is a great game during the summer because you can go out, you can relax, 3 hours at the ballpark, you're in the sun, get a couple of beers with your buddies, is a great time to relax. And I'm sorry, but the people that want to speed it up and make it a more exciting game don't understand baseball. You just don't understand
I
it.
love how he managed to turn this NBA argument into a baseball argument.
And when you go to a
2
basketball
seconds.
game and you watch a guy throw a ball at a hoop for 2-3 hours, it gets redundant. I'm sorry.
To be fair, I did bring it up, but I wanted to see Teddy Bear 2 come out right
Hockey!
This isn't Teddy Bear. This is the heated up version of Teddy Bear. This is you put.
Same thing goes for the people that want hockey or fighting out of hockey. You don't watch hockey. Don't talk. I don't want to hear you.
Yeah,
I don't want to hear you at all.
What people want fighting out of
Because
hockey?
people get hurt. People get hurt. They get concussions from fighting.
Head
That's actually a bunch of
injuries.
crap. It really is. You have skates on, and that actually absorbs more of the force of the punch than anybody understands. If you don't watch the sport, don't chime in. I don't want to hear from you.
This might be
Go away.
the most passionate argument I have ever seen out of Teddy Bear 2. I want more. I want more passion.
No,
Come on.
I'm good, guys.
No?
We had a very pleasant discussion.
All right, we had a pleasant discussion. Coming up after the break, it is time to break that with our first third fantasy awards.
That's a
you
tongue
are going to be
twister.
so angry. It's going to be fun. And you're listening to the Star Fantasy League show on 105.5 The Team.
Play fantasy sports for cash prizes. Join the top daily and weekly fantasy leagues in the country at starfantasyleagues.com. Now, back to the Star Fantasy League show with Jonathan, Zach, and Nick, only on The Team.
Wrong. We're actually back on the show with Jonathan, Nick, and the Universe Man, Footer himself.
How much do you enjoy saying wrong when I'm on the show? Because obviously that only happens when I come in.
Well, that's not true because whenever Zach talks, I say wrong.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
I mean, he usually does make some pretty poor things to say. And the best part is he can't rebuke this because he's not on the show.
That's true.
Yeah, how you like me now, buddy? Let's see, I'm right. Am I allowed to smack talk? No?
A little bit.
I'm allowed to smack talk Nick because this is going to be the most painful segment of the season for you. This is what we're going to call the first third fantasy awards. It's a third of the way through the season already. I cannot believe it. I am already depressed.
Let's just make sure that we really realize what I actually said versus what you think I said.
No, I'm just saying players that you know are on your team. As soon as I bring them up, you're going to go, ugh.
Okay, but like Cordero Patterson was on my team because he was cheap. Because it was an auction.
Okay.
He
but
was
still,
$2.
Still,
and
he's a
everybody
guy.
was like, "Oh yeah, he's a 4th rounder." I thought he was more of like a 7th rounder, maybe, but he turned out to be like a 13th rounder.
Yeah, to be fair,
and that's why I'm pissed.
To be fair, his ADP was probably like 5th, 6th round.
No,
That's
well,
where he
it was definitely at one point in the 4th round.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
insanity.
Absolutely.
I managed to not touch him in any leagues, luckily. I don't know how we got off this Cordell Patterson kick. We're going to go through the awards. We're all going to bring up a guy, and then we have to come to a consensus. Can you imagine this? We actually have to come to a consensus on the show.
All right.
It's never happened in the history of the show except one time. Once. We're not going to talk about that ever again.
Nope.
No. All right, we're going to talk Fantasy Killer. That's our
know
first
either, dude.
I don't know.
Brandon Oliver no-dub play of the week a couple weeks ago.
Oh, yeah,
Everybody
okay.
agreed with that. All right, Fantasy Killer. This is a 1st through 5th rounder that has murdered your fantasy season. They're literally in the first. I could go through. Hold on. Do you want me to pull up the first 3 rounds of ADP and then
Sure.
they're pretty bad?
Well, I'm going to throw one out there to start with. Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen was being drafted in the 3rd round, and we actually talked about this a couple of times before the season started. Don't understand it, never did, and I think that teams caught up and they figured him out, and you're seeing the results of that in his sophomore season. I can't believe people were that high on him.
Oh, you got Footer?
There's a lot of guys.
Oh no, you're like I drafted him. I've drafted him. I also own him. I traded for him.
Yeah, I have about 6 guys down for each category.
You have what?
Throw one down. Let's go.
But the one that I have to stick to, the first one I pulled up was Adrian Peterson.
Okay.
Hey, well,
He
Whoa,
played
whoa,
one
whoa.
game.
He's right.
He played one game.
He
we
is
didn't
right.
know anything about this before the season started. He was going 2nd to 3rd overall. At least with the other guys, even if they're injured or they're poor production, you're still going to get games out of them.
Just because we didn't know that this was going to happen doesn't mean it wasn't a fantasy killer. That is true. That is the category, right?
Ray Rice.
Okay. Well, he wasn't a top.
Ray Rice, we
top
knew was
5
going to be at
round
least
guy.
suspended
Yes,
2
I
games. So.
I was. Come on. I know
You
he's
said
not legitimate.
the naughty word too.
Ray Rice.
He said it again.
Oh, sorry.
Rice-a-roni.
Schmeiss. Is that
Perfect.
better?
Yes.
Schmeiss. All right, my guy is Drew Breeze.
Really?
ADP. Are you kidding?
Maybe.
He is currently in standard leagues. I'm actually doing everything off standard because apparently the world is still playing standard, even though we've told you a million times. StarFantasyLeagues.com offers PPR leagues. You should be playing PPR too.
Yes, you should.
But anyways, in standard scoring leagues, he's the 17th ranked QB right now.
Yeah, but that's not a fantasy killer.
If you drafted him in the hold on, his ADP going into the season was 17.
Yeah, but
17.
okay.
about third round.
I got to go with footers then. I think Adrian Peterson is definitely a fantasy killer.
But that's the obvious one.
Yeah,
Who do you,
it
hold
is.
on,
Well, we're supposed to come to a consensus. That's an obvious
but
consensus.
for a different reason. I want to know who do you also have on there actually like on the field killing you, as opposed to off the field
All right,
killing
fair
other
enough,
people.
All right.
A couple other guys. Obviously, the Sean McCoy, number 1.
Although I think he's coming on. I think you're going to be fine. But obviously, we're only talking about the first 6 weeks. So his last week was 120-something yards on the ground. So I'm not completely sold that he's going to kill you.
I probably would lean more towards actually Monty Ball because he's going about 10 to 11.
Yeah.
So still going first round with the injury plus his limited production. And Ronnie Hillman
I was going to say, is he
might
going to be
take over the
is he
starting
going to be
job?
passed when he goes back? That's the big question.
We'll see.
he was passed last year, so
Well, that was the beginning of the season.
still he was coming.
We'll
he was
see.
tapped to
No,
be the
he's
starter
absolutely
coming
right.
in.
All right. We can't not say Adrian Peterson.
No, yeah, I
it's
think
gotta be.
I think it's guaranteed. I mean,
scroll one
I
for me.
can't even believe that
Yeah.
there's a really good chance we're gonna see him in a different jersey next season.
Hold on. How did we not bring up Eddie Lacy, by the way? How did I let you off the hook like that? He was going
because he's still the man.
he was going mid-first round in 12-team leagues.
Lacey's the man.
Sorry.
He's killing people.
Yeah, I mean he's still got games.
Yeah,
to
he
play.
killed me. I know you're right. That's true.
Yeah, he did. I just want to get you mad. You're not. You're
No, I'm
taking
not
it
because
in
the Packers
stride.
are winning. So
Yeah, I guess that's
Okay.
fine. All right, the next first third fantasy award is the Diamond in the Rough. This is a guy drafted 10th round or later. That is, he's a winner for you.
All right, I have a few guys. But
Oh, look at Footer doing all this research before the show. Oh, I'll do all the research when I'm on the show. You've been doing this for 3 weeks now, haven't you? So you've been on.
It's true. I'm going to have to go with Steve Smith Sr. because his ADP was 139th coming in the season.
What site are you using?
The site that's right, StarFantasyLeagues.com.
Wait, we had an ADP on there?
No, I'm just
I was
joking.
like, whoa, I don't think we had ADPs.
Come on, free pub for us. All right.
Free puffers? What the hell did he just
Pub
say?
for us. Wide receiver 47 was what he was coming in as. He's in a PPR league. He is currently the 13th best player, not wide receiver, player. So I think that's pretty amazing. So everyone was talking him down.
Yeah, I mean, I would have included him on this list, except ESPN, as of the start of the season, had him listed at 95th, so he didn't qualify.
Okay, do you want someone else in?
Yeah, I do want. Yeah. Stay in the guidelines. Diamond in the Rough award.
Okay, how about Mohamed Sanu? Wasn't even ranked, and he's the 13th best wide receiver at this point. He was outside like the top 60 ranks for the season to go.
I'm
for
okay
wide
with that. I'm
receivers.
gonna give you a name. I can't believe I'm even gonna say this on the air. Seth Young is right. Eli Manning is a god. He's currently the 12th rated QB. If you drafted him where he was going, 135th, that's the 18th best QB as your backup. He's probably starting for you now.
yeah, how'd that go last week?
What happened last week?
Yeah, they got demolished by the
Did he
Eagles.
play last week? I thought,
Yeah,
I thought, hold on.
until their backup came in.
I thought Ryan Nassib played that whole game for
Yep.
for reasons I can't talk about.
No.
Oh.
Nope.
Oops.
Eli was out there for a little bit
Yes.
and floundering as usual.
Oh yeah, I think it has more to do with Victor Cruz. He was crying because Victor Cruz got hurt. Oh wait,
Sure.
that happened late in the game. Ooh, I have no idea then. Never mind.
I can't remember where Calvin Benjamin was being drafted, but
Early.
he has. Well, I feel like he was somewhere after the 10th round, but if not, I still think he's.
Oh no, you're right. He was 164th, the 62nd wide receiver. Yeah, he's a no-brainer.
Yeah, Calvin Benjamin has been great. I know Greg Olson's still the number one option for Cam Newton in that
You're
offense,
right.
but Calvin Benjamin has been fantastic. Great rookie season so far.
Yeah, I'm going to list two other names for you real quick. Ahmad Bradshaw and Justin Forsett are currently in standard scoring. I know a lot of people play standard. I'm going to keep mentioning it. 7th and 8th running backs overall in standard scoring right now. They were undrafted, both those guys.
Wow.
That's incredible.
I thought Bradshaw was
He was like
just
200
outside.
and something overall
Well,
on the sites I was
Trent
seeing.
Richardson was being drafted in like the 5th or 6th round.
Yeah.
So
All right, so who do we think is the biggest diamond in the rough?
probably Steve Smith.
Yeah, if Steve Smith qualifies, he's got to be the diamond in the rough.
I probably have to say Forsett, but if
Yeah,
we-
but hang on. Now, diamond in the rough meaning like you probably looked at this guy, you might have drafted him. You are not drafting Justin Forsett.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, Steve Smith got drafted in a lot of leagues.
Yeah, but
So
that's
he's
what I'm saying.
diamond in the rough.
Yeah,
You-
diamond in the rough. When you find a diamond, not just a waiver wire pickup.
Yeah.
Okay,
correct.
all right, fair enough.
So
There you go.
I would say Steve Smith.
All right.
We have
I'm
an
fine
award
with
for that coming up. He probably is going to win that.
Okay.
Let's talk about daily fantasy surprise. This is on StarFantasyLeagues.com. The guy who came out of nowhere to basically win you your week in daily fantasy. I have the top scorer of every single week written down of guys that you would not expect, like not normal guys. Do you want the whole list, and then we'll go over it? All right, week 1 was Alan Hearns was the top scorer with 27 points. Week 2, Niall Davis with 28.5. Delaney Walker was the high scorer. I put both of them down because they both got over 28. Kirk Cousins, week 3, 28 points. Matt Asiata, week 4, 31 points. Got to get him more carries, apparently. Brandon Oliver was our no-duh play of the week in week 5. Got you 34 fantasy points. And Andre Holmes, last week, 28.1.
I'm gonna say a toss up between Andre Holmes and Alan Hearns because everybody else on that list was a waiver wire pickup because of an injury or because of some off the field issue. Asiata, Niall Davis, and Brandon Oliver, all of them were guys that you would have considered in those weeks. So I would say it's going to be either Alan Hearns or Andre Holmes.
Go ahead. Who you got?
Well, the way I interpreted this as...
Oh, you don't interpret. We talked
It's Footer's
about,
universe. We're
Hold
just
on.
living in it.
Hold on. We talked about how the format of this show went before. And no, you know what? I interpreted it
Well, I want to hear his
differently.
interpretation. What's your interpretation?
Well, I interpret it as guys that you might actually play in your lineup, not guys like who had Alan Hearns in week 1.
Excuse me.
John did.
Excuse me. I actually did.
I'll give him the credit on that.
I
Okay.
called that.
Definitely
I said, I think he's going to have a monster
Yep.
week, and everyone laughed at me.
Okay, look at your list. Obviously, everybody had Brandon Oliver in week 5.
Yeah, he was our no-duh player of the week.
But the only one that I had that matched up with you was Delaney Walker in week 2.
Yeah,
You know,
Completely out of nowhere. Although people liked Tennessee in that game.
definitely.
they did play Dallas, but they didn't think he'd put up 10 catches for 142 and a touchdown. So
Agreed.
I definitely have to say
Agreed.
Delaney
And he'll never do
Walker.
it again.
Well, and that was early on in the season, early enough where we thought, hey, maybe the Titans' offense could get a passing game going against a Dallas defense
There you
that
go.
we thought was
there
terrible.
it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm still sticking with Alan Hearns because it was I pulled him out of my ass basically, and
Yep.
he put up monster numbers.
Okay.
We agree. We agree. Nick's going with Alan
I
Hearns.
would have to. I would have
Perfect.
to.
I'll give you with this one, all right?
All right. All right. I
We're
like
just
that.
living in Footer's universe.
Yep,
Yeah.
stroking my ego. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. All right, and the last award before we head to the break is No One Saw Him Coming. This is the legitimate, not a diamond in the rough. This is a guy that, oh, hey, waiver wire pickup. Oh, wait,
Yeah.
you're a monster now.
I mean, force set. Come on. I didn't see this coming at all. This
Wait,
is unbelievable.
didn't
We
y'all-
thought Bernard Pierce was going to take this job, and he floundered.
And then we
terribly.
also had Lorenzo Taliaferro taking some
Yep.
carries. He turned out he's actually pretty good too.
He is. Forsett just keeps his job. I don't know how.
But can we talk about huge surprises coming out of the season are Baltimore's run game after Ray Rice got suspended, and somehow Cleveland's run game, even with Ben Tate being out, is the top rushing offense in the league. Name their guys before the season. You wouldn't have been able to.
What do you mean? Yeah, we would.
Their backups.
I knew
Terrence
Terrence
Isaiah
West.
Kroll and Terrence West.
Yeah, but did you know
We knew
Kroll
that.
going into the season?
Yeah, we knew. Come on, we talked about that.
Oh, get out
we
of
talked
here.
about Terrence West more.
We really thought
But-
Terrence West was going to be the guy.
Kroll turned out to be the man.
I think Crowell might be the biggest surprise, only because I didn't know who he was.
Okay.
Week 1, I was like, oh, he's playing against the Steelers. He got 2 touchdowns. Cool. Who the hell is this guy? No idea.
I got to go with Mohamed Sanu. I mean, he has 1 passing touchdown and 3 catching touchdowns, 354 yards on the season. A.J. Green's going to continue to miss a few weeks here. He's really turned into, a number 1 primary target.
See, I can't respect that because Mohamed Sanu only has 1 more touchdown than J.J. Watt. So
Oh, come on.
I just can't.
Come on.
We should go with that then.
Yeah, sorry. J.J. Watt is the offensive player no one saw coming. If you manage to start him in a what do they call that?
IDPs.
IDP
You
leagues,
don't even
yeah.
get points for that, do you?
Yeah,
you do.
yeah, you do. Of course you do.
Oh, I thought it was like only tackles and not intercept. You get touchdowns too?
Oh, come on. Why wouldn't you?
But that's such a crapshoot, though.
I think it's shocking that Sanu has taken the number 1 role and continued to produce. I think that's.
But
great.
I have to agree with Nick. Forset's definitely, I think, the
Fine,
best
we'll
option.
go with those stupid Baltimore Ravens. I can't deal with this. I'm
Okay.
very upset right now.
Sorry.
All right, coming after break, we
Not
have
sorry.
2 more awards, Fantasy MVP and Fantasy LVP. Boo! And you're listening to the Star Fantasy League Show on 105.5 The Team.
You're listening to the Star Fantasy League Show. Contact the StarFantasyLeagues.com guys via Twitter at SFL Show.
We are back, and we are not yet done with the first third fantasy awards for the first third of the NFL season. I feel like this segment is literally only paying homage to one man, but we're going to try to make an argument out of it. But before we do that, if you suck during the first third of the season in your season-long leagues, guess what? We can save you on StarFantasyLeagues.com. We got daily contests every single week of the NFL season, and we also have season-long NBA contests available as of yesterday. Only site that has season and daily for NBA, for NFL, all that good stuff. And I'm giving you a bonus, free 14, FREE 14, 100% deposit bonus to $2,000 and an $11 credit. What better day to start than today?
Fantastic.
Yeah, we're looking at Andrew Luck's face right now. It's because he's basically lording over this whole, fantasy MVP discussion because right now, if the season ended, he's your MVP.
Why isn't he in commercial? Oh, wait. Yeah, that's right. Look at that mug.
And also
he is in one.
Is he really?
No, but I'm talking like Peyton Manning style.
Oh, like the main guy, not just a side
Buick,
guy.
Nationwide.
More free plugs.
John's
More free
and all
plugs.
that
Why
stuff.
not?
What are you talking about? I'm just saying the commercials.
That's free plugs. There you go.
These are the commercials he is in.
Chicken parm is so tasty. Wait, what is it?
Omaha,
There you go. Yeah, those commercials are so horrifying.
Beats that new car smell.
Okay, now if Andrew Luck were to do that commercial, it'd be nothing big Andrew Luck smell.
Whatever. I mean, the guy's on an unbelievable tear. I can't believe that we didn't jump all over him. I mean, I know we were talking about him as being a steal in the 5th round.
Yeah.
But first rounder. He is definitely on pace to be a first-round quarterback.
It's okay. I very rarely can commit to taking a quarterback in the first round, considering there's like 3 guys that could be considered like for anywhere first to third. Like if you're getting Drew Brees in the third and Andrew Luck's considered like that category, I'm not taking a guy in the first. I'm just not doing it. Unless you know he's going to put up 55 touchdowns.
But that's what I'm saying. All I'm saying is he's turning it out to be that. At the end of the season, you can compile the data and say, hey, yeah, this is the first 12 or 14 guys on the board. That's really kind of who you should be drafting. I mean, obviously you can put together the team however you want, but he should have been drafted ahead of a couple of those other quarterbacks.
Can we
ahead of Matthew Stafford for sure.
Yeah.
Ahead of Drew Brees for sure.
Yeah, who's having one of the worst seasons
and
ever.
So him, Peyton Manning, and Aaron Rodgers. Those are the 3. And I would say, obviously, he is ahead of both Peyton Manning and Aaron Rodgers right now.
The interceptions are worrisome, but not from a fantasy perspective, obviously, because he's just tossing touchdowns like nobody's business. But quietly lurking is your boy Aaron Rodgers. He has 15 touchdowns, 1 interception. He is absolutely crushing.
He's killing it.
Killing it.
And you know what? But now that I think of it, he's probably one of the main reasons that Eddie Lacy is not performing because he's not running the ball.
Yeah.
They're throwing it.
Might be true.
He's fake spiking.
Can I make a case for someone else?
DeMarco Murray? No, you can't.
No.
Why not?
No.
785 rushing yards, 6 touchdowns, almost 200 yards.
It's because he's
receiving.
on pace for 1.2 million rushing attempts this season. He might actually die before the end of the season.
Hang on. We need a fact check on that. 1.25.
I'm sorry. He's actually rushed 500,000 times
No, I
since
think
we did that.
he literally is on pace to break the record for carries in a season.
Yep.
He is
I don't
fourth.
know
if they went by team rushing, which they do, he is 4th by himself in the league in team rushing, just by himself.
That's great.
That's impressive.
That's awesome.
You took 3 weeks to compile that stat? You've been away 3 weeks and you compiled that stat for me. That's it?
Yeah.
That's your argument for DeMarco Murray? I don't approve. Nope, it's Andrew Luck.
All right.
I'm sorry. This whole segment on our rundown says pay homage to Andrew the Giant Luck.
I do know who the LVP, though. It is Adrian Peterson.
Yeah, I have Adrian Peterson listed as the LVP for obvious reasons.
Why you got to discipline your kids like that?
Just discipline him like a normal human being. What's wrong with you? God, I can't stand him. And if you can't stand Adrian Peterson either, play on StarFantasyLeagues.com. We got Week 7 contest, $16,000 in guaranteed prize pools, $500 free roll, 100% deposit bonus to $2,000 using free 14. What's going on here?
Think Adrian Peterson would enjoy Western New York?
No, I don't think we're going to get him in here.
No, well, maybe.
All right.
Maybe. You can dream, Footer.
And if your season was also ruined by the horrible, horrible play or lack thereof of Adrian Peterson, we got nothing for you.
Sorry, guys.
Take it easy.